Scout and I were just out doing some trimming and weed eating, stuff like that. And I thought I'd take a minute and talk about something dealing with hurricane preparedness. Right now, we have relatives from Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, Jacksonville, North Carolina, staying with us as they flee the hurricane Florence. And I'm up here and doing some weed eating, and I also was doing some tree trimming. And it occurred to me that the setup I have kind of lends itself toward hurricane bug out. Now what you can see here is that I have some of my built jack scaffolding, and if you don't own scaffolding and you've got a prepper's heart or a homesteader's heart, get some scaffolding. It's actually easy to find now at a good price because a lot of your rental centers are going to the boom lifts, the cherry pickers, and you can buy scaffolding. But I've had this stuff for over 10 years and I just love it. I use it quite a bit for all kind of odd things. I loan it out to good friends, and it's just been a blessing to me. Now scaffolding fits almost perfectly in a full-size bed pickup truck. You can see that it sticks out a little bit, but I have driven this truck with this scaffolding like this from Texas to Florida, and what I did is I strapped it down, and it rode really well, and it created a structure for me to load a lot of stuff in. I did that when we were moving. Now what I want to talk about today though is imagine yourself bugging out because of a hurricane. Personally, I don't think I would go as far as my relatives did. They drove all the way from North Carolina to Florida, but there were other reasons to do that. I would only go as far as I have to go to be safe so that I can get back in there as soon as possible. And this scaffolding really lends itself because number one, it fits into the truck, a little bit of strapping down, and it's very secure. And with some tarps and some ingenuity, you can create a fairly good structure to put a lot of gear in if you're bugging out. And then when you get to the place you're bugging out to, you unload this, and you've got not only a place to store your stuff out of the rain, out of the weather. Obviously you don't want to stop in what is still hurricane weather, but by using the walk boards in certain ways, I could right now create beds. I could create a floor right here and then have storage underneath. I could create bunk beds if I so choose. And of course up here I can create a roof, and then when you add a tarp to it, you get a pretty good kind of camper. I mean, it's kind of just white trash ingenuity as far as what you want to make out of this. But if you don't have a camper already dedicated to a truck and you have some scaffolding, it's really something that you could take with you. I mean, I could build a small living structure out of this if I had to. Let's say like what happened here on my homestead after Hurricane Ivan when we lost the house. As a matter of fact, it was right under this tree over here that we had set up a campsite. There was nowhere to live, and I cleared this land right here, and I had well, I mean, it looked like a carnival, but we had tents, we had some of the fold out kind of go to the beach, go to the tailgate type structures that you buy from Academy or Walmart. We had some of those. I had a hammock hung up between my van and that tree, and that's what I slept in. And I stayed here at night to keep away looters, and there were looters. But my point is, with something like this, you could build a pretty neat structure. And now what I'm using it for today, the reason I have this set up is I've been trimming tree limbs. And what I do is I set that up, and then I'm able to climb up there and reach some pretty tall limbs. And if I can't reach far enough, I actually can put a ladder up on that structure. And to be safe, I screw down some 2x4s to keep the ladder in place, and I can reach really high. And it's just an inexpensive, easy way to be able to get really tall. Anyway, just thought I'd share that with you. Me and Scout just doing a little bit of work, and wanted to say hi. Hey, Scout, you're a good girl. You are a good girl.